What's up guys, today we're going to be comparing the S21 Ultra to the iPhone 13 Pro here. Just an excellent matchup here. So let's go ahead and go over the specs, pros and cons of each. So let's go ahead and start off with the price. So these are both pretty much $1,000 phones if you get them brand new. And if you want to get the S21 Ultra refurbished like I did, it'll cost you around like $750, which I think is a pretty solid deal to get such a top tier phone like this. So let's go ahead and go over the hardware. Both of these phones have two beautiful hardware designs here. I mean, just top notch in terms of just build quality and just the thought they put into the design of both of these phones. So on the S21 Ultra, you do have a premium design. It's a glass back with a matte finish in stainless steel frame. It's IP68 dust and water resistant, and pretty much the same thing for the iPhone. Stainless steel or aluminum frame on the side, and then you also have a glass back with a matte finish on here as well. So the camera modules are probably one of my favorite things about these phones. You got these big cameras on both of these phones, just really nice looking, just awesome. I think I kind of like the S21 Ultra's camera setup a little bit more. The design of it, it really reminds me of like some Terminator, like sci-fi sort of thing. I'm really digging it since I've been able to just see it in person. Really like it. I really like the iPhones too. I love that they made it bigger as well, but man, the designs on both these phones are really nice. As far as the size, you can see the S21 Ultra is just kind of massive in both height and the weight of it compared to the 13 Pro here. But yeah, two very nice looking phones here. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about screen quality. So with the iPhone, you have the Super Retina XDR OLED display at 120 Hz. It is HDR10 at 6.1 inches, so as you can see, much smaller than the S21 Ultra, and it is a 1170 by 2532, 460 for the PPI, and you can see we do have Apple's notch, which is 20% smaller this year. S21 Ultra Dynamic AMOLED display, 120 Hz HDR10 plus, and then it's a 6.8 inch display, and it's a 1440p display at 515 for the PPI. Both these displays are extremely good. They're pretty much top tier displays as far as color accuracy. You do have a slight difference though. So you can see a smaller notch on the S21 Ultra, and the S21 Ultra has a slight curve. It's not a dramatic curve, and it's not a curve that you can really get accidental touches with, but the iPhone is completely flat, which a lot of people like. But it feels like a more bezel-less experience on the S21 as far as like the sides of it and at the bottom as well. And the S21 Ultra's display does seem a little bit more vibrant than the iPhone. It just looks a little bit more colorful to me, but I definitely, for me, I would go with the S21 Ultra's display because I just like the punch hole, and I'm probably the only one, but I really love like curved displays. And I'm talking about not curved like this, I'm talking about more dramatic like the 7 Pro. I'm a big fan of having a curved display. But both screens are excellent. They're both very fluid and fast. That 120 Hz is no joke on both of these phones. They just are extremely fast. So I really love both screens on here. Now, both of these phones are running the latest software. The S21 is running the Android 11 with the One UI skin on top of it, and it also has the Snapdragon 888 chip and the Adreno 660. No SD card support, 256 gigs of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM. And the iPhone does have iOS 15 with the Apple A15 chip. No SD card support, 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM on here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Geekbench scores so you guys can see what that looks like. Boom. So you can see A15 chip does beat the S21 Ultra in the single and multi-core scores here. You guys can see how they compare to other devices as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and just open some applications and get a feel for speed here. Let's see if we can see a big difference here. iPhone, S21 Ultra, right behind it. YouTube, S21 Ultra, got it there. Pokemon, iPhone slightly, almost a tie there. Instagram. Look like the iPhone loaded that up faster. So it looks like the iPhone might be slightly faster than the S21 Ultra, but not by any type of, not by any realistic difference here. They're pretty much on par with each other. Now, gaming on these phones is pretty much going to be a phenomenal experience because they both have great displays and 120 hertz displays. But it kind of comes down to, like earlier, the display preference. So now once we load into PUBG, you can see we pretty much have the same graphics on both of these phones. So we can see Ultra, Extreme FPS, Ultra HD, and pretty much the same for the S21 Ultra. So they both play really great. These phones really don't heat up. I don't have heating issues with these phones at all, so they play really well. So guys, check out my gaming tests on both of these phones. They do a phenomenal job. The S21 Ultra plays Fortnite really great at 60 frames. Pretty much plays everything just really excellent on this phone. So I just don't have any issues with it at all. And then as far as the iPhone goes, again, it's pretty much the same as the S21 Ultra, but the iPhone does not have Fortnite in the store. So, but it plays extremely smooth, no issues, no heating problems. So if you buy these phones for gaming, just know that you're gonna have pretty much a top-notch experience. All right, so let's check out those speakers side by side here. Max volume. I do have Dolby Atmos on the S21. Let's go ahead and hear what they sound like. Ooh, that is extreme. That's very close. Yeah, it's extremely close, and it's too hard to call here because they both sound really similar. So man, I wasn't expecting them to sound that similar because one, I can't really tell if one's really that much louder over the other one. They don't really sound that much louder over each other, and bass quality, it sounds almost pretty much the same here. So I would say call it a tie here as far as speaker quality. Yeah, speaker quality is just excellent. There's no distortion, bass, mids. They both give out really full sound. So just excellent speakers for both here. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about additional features and getting into the phone. So you have two methods of getting into the phone on the S21. You do have your under the display fingerprint sensor, which works extremely fast. Zero issues with that. But you also have face unlock on here as well, which is really nice. So you have two options, but on the iPhone, you only have one option, Face ID. Now, it's very secure. It's more secure than the S21 Ultra's Face Unlock, but again, it's only one option, so I wish Apple would put a under-the-display fingerprint sensor or a physical one in the power button. But yeah, so I just like having two methods on my phone. So as far as the software, you pretty much know what you're going to get with the iPhone as far as FaceTime, iMessage. That's a big reason why people love iPhones. On Android, Samsung throws in a lot of great customizations that a lot of people don't really know about. So the Samsung desktop support is a really big one. And also both these phones have NFC for mobile payments. Let me turn dark mode on. And also secured folders is kind of a slept on one too. And you also have on here your wireless power sharing mode, and you pretty much just put it down like that and you're able to charge pretty much any device that's compatible with wireless charging, which is very cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about image quality, and I'll show you guys the side-by-side stills, but let's go ahead and talk about the specs real quick. So S21 Ultra, we do have a 108 megapixel main lens, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto, 10 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 8K video at 24 frames, 40 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K at 60 frames. The iPhone does have also a quad camera setup, 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and it uses the ultra wide as a macro, and so does the S21 Ultra. So that's technically, technically it's a quad camera setup. But yeah, so as you guys can see, you got your 0.5, 0.3, 0.6, 0.3, 10, 30, and then 100 times zoom on the S21 Ultra, which is absolutely nuts. So I'll go ahead and let you guys see those stills side by side. Let me know what you think. Alright, here's our video on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Ultra wide. .3x. .10x. It's pretty crazy still. Wow, look at that. Alright guys, here's the video on the iPhone 13 Pro. .5. We have our telephoto. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about battery life. So I think you'll be very surprised that the iPhone actually, it runs like it's running like a massive battery, but it's not. It's got a 3095 milliamp battery, 23 watt charging. You have the MagSafe wireless charging, and then your standard wireless charging. S21 Ultra has a 5000 milliamp battery, 25 watt charging, the wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. Basically, these phones are a beast when it comes to battery life. You're really not going to struggle at all getting through a day with these phones. These are easily some of the best, phones when it comes to battery life that you can get on the market right now. They both do an excellent job. So I just never had an issue with both these phones. Really more surprising with the iPhone with such a smaller battery, but since Apple has, good integration with iOS and its hardware, I'm assuming that's how they, are able to pull that off. But be sure to let me know what you guys think. Which phone would you guys go with? The 13 Pro or the S21 Ultra? Let me know and I'll catch you guys in the next one.